The Cyber Distortion team would like to take a quick moment to recognize our premier sponsors: Alacrinet, Fulcrum Technologies, CypherNova.ai, and PureBomb Apparel. It's your support that makes these episodes possible. Thank you all. A government website goes dark. A billion-dollar corporation suddenly loses control of its own systems. A video appears online. One figure, wearing a white mask, speaking through a distorted voice.
We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us.
Who were they? Criminals? Hackers? Activists? Or something the world had never seen before? For nearly 2 decades, governments have hunted them. Corporations have feared them. Law enforcement has tried to dismantle them. Yet somehow, Anonymous keeps coming back. They've declared war on the Church of Scientology, taken on credit card giants, embarrassed intelligence firms, supported revolutions, exposed corruption, and launched cyber campaigns that echoed around the globe. But here's the twist. Anonymous isn't an organization. It has no CEO, no headquarters, no membership list. No one is in charge. And that's exactly what makes it so dangerous, or so powerful, depending on who you ask. Because Anonymous isn't just a group, it's an idea that anyone, anywhere, can become anonymous. And right now, we uncover the true story behind the mask, how a handful of internet pranksters accidentally created one of the most recognizable symbols of digital rebellion the world has ever known, and why, even today, no one can say for certain who Anonymous really is. Because many of you have asked, it's time we open the book and try our best to do this story justice. Lock in. It's far stranger than fiction. This is Season 5, Episode 8. We are Anonymous, the collective. Chapter 1, The Birth of the Mask. The internet wasn't supposed to create a revolution. It was supposed to connect people, share information, entertain us. No one imagined it would one day create a movement with no leader, no headquarters, and no way to stop it. It began not in a secret bunker, not inside a government agency, not even among elite hackers. It started on an internet message board, a place called 4chan. If you've never heard of it, imagine the Wild West of the internet. Anonymous users, no real identities, no reputations, no consequences. Every person posting appeared under exactly the same name, Anonymous. At first, it was chaos, memes, jokes, pranks, internet culture at its most unpredictable. No one was trying to change the world. They were simply entertaining themselves. But something unexpected happened. When thousands of strangers all appeared under the same name, individual identity disappeared. Only the crowd remained. And crowds can become incredibly powerful. No one could tell who started an idea. No one could claim credit. No one could become the leader because everyone was anonymous. The Church of Scientology attempted to erase a leaked interview with actor Tom Cruise from the internet. Lawyers sent takedown notices. Videos disappeared. Websites complied. To most organizations, that would have been the end of the story, but not this time. The internet saw something different. It wasn't just about one video. It was about censorship, about controlling information, and thousands of anonymous users took it personally.
I think it's a privilege to call yourself a Scientologist, and it's something that you have to earn. And because a Scientologist does, he or she has the ability to create new and better realities and improve conditions. Being Scientologist, you look at someone and you know absolutely that you can help them.
What began as online jokes became something much larger.
Give me a sign on it, please. Please give me a sign on it. Mr. Cruz, come on, be a gentleman. Give me a sign on it. Yes! Man, you're cool. You're really cool. Oh, come on, give me a sign. Yeah, peace is cool. I love it. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I love you.
I don't mince words with that, with anything that LRH does, but that policy to me has really gone, boy. There's a time I went through and I said, you know what? When I read it, I just went, this is it. This is exactly it.
They launched distributed denial of service attacks, flooding Scientology websites with traffic, bringing them offline. Then came prank phone calls, black faxes, information campaigns, and something no one expected. They left their keyboards. For the first time, Anonymous appeared in the real world. Hundreds of people gathered outside Scientology centers across the globe, but almost no one knew who they were. Every face hidden behind the same mask, the face of Guy Fawkes, made famous by the graphic novel and later the film V for Vendetta. It was brilliant. The masks protected their identities, but they also sent a message. This wasn't about one person. This was about an idea. Anyone could wear the mask. Anyone could become anonymous. Anyone, anywhere. News organizations struggled to explain what they were witnessing. Was Anonymous a hacker group? A protest movement? Digital vigilantes? Internet pranksters? The answer was somehow all of the above. Because Anonymous wasn't built like any organization before it. There were no membership cards, no applications, no hierarchy, no one gave orders. Ideas simply appeared. If enough people believed in them, they became operations. If not, they disappeared. It was chaos, organized chaos, and that made Anonymous nearly impossible to stop. Because how do you arrest an idea? The white mask had officially become a global symbol. But the internet's newest movement was about to discover something else. It wasn't just capable of protesting. It could bring some of the world's largest corporations to their knees.
Welcome to the Cyber Distortion Podcast. Man, Kevin, I am excited, dude. If you ain't pumped right now, I don't know what's going to get you pumped, because we are just a few short days away from
Black Hat and DEFCON, baby.
That's
Hacker
right,
Summer,
babe.
Hacker Summer Camp.
That's it. So with that, we got a really special episode coming out for you guys. As you can tell, you saw the intro. This is going to be an exciting one. We are Anonymous, the collective. It is coming at you right now, and this is action-packed. It is a killer story. You all know about Anonymous. You've heard them. You've seen their antics. They've been a part of a lot of different things. Here's the thing. We're going to dive a little bit deeper and tell you a little bit more about who they really are, what their missions were, how they achieved what they achieved, why they were doing it. And do you really know who is in Anonymous? That's the question. I will already tell you there's a reason why the name is Anonymous. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
Oh, man. Yeah, there's definitely a reason for that. And we're going to find out more about why that is as we get more into the story. Obviously, some cool stuff in that first chapter with the protests and everything that's going on there related to Scientology. And man, you just immediately can tell what really triggered Anonymous from what they were years ago, prior to the Scientology incident, to then, was the fact that Scientology was trying to pull all these videos back and restrict them from being public information after they were already public information. And it was really about censorship, right? They didn't want somebody like that, some organization like that, being able to set their own rules and basically say, we're going to censor this information from the world. Why? Because it's really going to give us a black eye. There's nothing good that's going to come out of this video. And if you can go, I highly encourage listeners, go find that video. You're going to see there's a couple excerpts there that we showed, but the whole thing's out there. You can find it. And it just doesn't put the whole Scientology story in a great light. So you can see why they wanted to pull it. But Anonymous was having none of that game, dude. They were like, no, who are you to say no to allowing this information to be public? So I think it's very interesting that they picked that battle to make a statement. But that is the battle. If you look back on the history of Anonymous, I think that's the one that put them on the map.
Yeah, for sure it is. For sure it is. And there are several of them that are going down since it went down from then going forward. You know, we talked about Hector Monsegur and his backstory, who was a
We'll
part
talk about him more tonight.
Yep,
even more.
Who was a part of Anonymous. So there are many, many things with Anonymous that we'll find out as we continue to go through it. So
what do you think about the whole Guy Fawkes mask and that tie to Anonymous?
Yeah, it's genius, dude. That was genius. Like,
yeah.
And to even think that a collective came up with this tells you that there's really no hierarchy of power in this collective, because people just came together and came up with strategy, concept, identity, put it all together and went to market with it and continue to operate that way. Ingenious, man.
Yeah, and the thing that's cool about it is it whether they meant for this to happen this way or not, it basically branded who Anonymous really was. From then on and until today and into the future, everybody recognizes Anonymous because of that mask. And so it's almost like unintentionally, or maybe intentionally, we don't know, they branded themselves perfectly, because hackers existed long before Anonymous existed. Hacktivists existed, and political hackers existed. But Anonymous, they made all of that marketable, which is a strange thing because they're not trying to market themselves, but they put a face. The interesting thing is, media now had a face they could put to an invisible movement, which is amazing if you think about it. And I know it wasn't intentional, but just the fact that that happened makes it all the more cool to me. You are muted, sir.
I know. Well, I think the bottom line now, Kevin, is let's go find out more of the story and see where this is going to take us.
Yeah, dude. Well, this gets way better. So buckle up, Buttercup.
Woo-hoo-hoo, let's go.
All right, here we go.
Chapter 2, The Hacker Collective. The protests changed everything. Anonymous had discovered something. A few hundred people could become thousands. Thousands could become millions. And behind a keyboard, distance didn't matter. Neither did borders. For the first time, the internet wasn't just talking about change. It was creating it. Then, in 2010, a new operation ignited. It was called Operation Payback. Originally, it targeted organizations fighting online piracy, companies that were trying to shut down file-sharing websites. Anonymous answered with distributed denial-of-service attacks, flooding servers with so much traffic, they simply stopped responding. To supporters, it was digital civil disobedience. To critics, it was cybercrime. The debate had begun. When does protest become hacking? And when does hacking become a weapon? The answer would come sooner than anyone expected. In late 2010, WikiLeaks began publishing hundreds of thousands of classified U.S. diplomatic cables. The release sent shockwaves around the world. Governments scrambled, politicians demanded action. Then, major financial companies made a decision. PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, they suspended donations to WikiLeaks. Anonymous saw it differently. They believed powerful corporations had decided, without a court, without a vote, who could and couldn't speak. Within hours, Operation Payback changed targets. One after another, their websites began experiencing massive disruptions. Millions of requests, every second, wave after wave after wave. The message was unmistakable. If you control the flow of information, expect resistance. Suddenly, Anonymous wasn't just an internet curiosity. It had become international news. Governments noticed, law enforcement noticed, intelligence agencies noticed, and somewhere inside Anonymous, someone decided they could do even more. In early 2011, a cybersecurity company called HBGary Federal made a bold claim. Its CEO said he had identified key members of Anonymous. He planned to expose them publicly. It was supposed to be the beginning of Anonymous's downfall. Instead, it became one of the most humiliating hacks in cybersecurity history.
Back in this country tonight, NBC News has been given an exclusive look inside the secretive organization known as Anonymous.
Anonymous breached HBGary systems, downloaded tens of thousands of internal emails, defaced the company's website, accessed executive accounts, even took control of the CEO's social media.
When we break laws, we do so in the service of civil disobedience. We do so ethically. We do it against targets who have asked for it.
Targets like HBGary, a major cybersecurity firm some U.S. government agencies rely on to keep their computers safe. Last month, HBGary boasted it would expose Anonymous. The response was swift. Anonymous took down their website, stole thousands of emails, and posted them on the internet. The CEO resigned. And how did they do it? It was tech-savvy, to be sure, but also an old-fashioned con. Brown says a 16-year-old girl posed as HBGary's founder in emails and tricked the computer security manager to reset his password.
Then, they published everything. Every email, every conversation, every embarrassing detail. The hunter had become the hunted. The message echoed across the cybersecurity world. If you threatened Anonymous, Anonymous might come looking for you. Then something extraordinary happened. The movement spread beyond hacking. As protests erupted across Tunisia, Egypt, and other parts of the Middle East, Anonymous turned its attention toward governments, helping protesters bypass censorship, sharing tools to avoid surveillance, mirroring blocked websites, keeping information flowing. For some, they were digital freedom fighters. For others, they were interfering in sovereign nations. Once again, everything depended on your perspective.
So when we started talking about Anonymous and the things that they could do, and they had the way they've been targeting law enforcement, you know, you look at it both ways. Are they able to taking down these things? Sure. Will there be some, quote, cyber collateral damage? Absolutely. Will they take out some accounts that probably aren't related? You know, if we could make Anonymous follow the rules, they wouldn't be breaking into the things that they are. So they're going to continue to do what they do. But what I would like to see is kind of us taking a look at this and going, can we, by properly having a good relationship with these guys, actually it goes back to the enemy is my friend, can we actually get them to collect information and intelligence and feed it back to us so that we as the United States or the intelligence agencies can actually be more proactive about stopping the next terrorist attacks, because you cannot disrupt an attack, you cannot detect. And Paris was an example of where we couldn't detect the attack.
Anonymous had become impossible to define. Hackers, activists, pranksters, whistleblower supporters, political disruptors, sometimes all at once. But success brought attention, and attention brought infiltration. The FBI, working alongside international law enforcement, began identifying people connected to Anonymous. One arrest led to another. Then came the biggest shock of all. A respected hacker known as Sabu had secretly become an FBI informant. For months, he was helping investigators identify members from inside the movement itself.
How did you get involved in what was going on in the Arab Spring?
At the height of the Tunisian revolution, I attacked the Tunisian government infrastructure, completely toppling all communications, email, all government websites went down at the same time in and outside of Tunisia. So I went on a full-scale attack on the Tunisian infrastructure just to disrupt the communications against the protesters.
You like that?
Well, I thought I was doing something great. I think I did.
You got in trouble for that?
I did get in trouble for it. Yeah, it's one of my charges.
Tell me about the day you were arrested by the FBI.
They knocked on my door and said, hey, you know, come out to the hallway. They grabbed me, come out to the hallway. They're like, hey, we know who you are. We know what you're doing. I went downtown, they sat me down, and they were like, well, you know, we know you did this, we know you did that, we know you did this. But their evidence, the evidence that they had at the time was only for like one charge. I could have fought my case if they didn't attempt to extort me with the children.
Are you saying you didn't do it?
Didn't do what?
That you didn't commit crimes, that they had...
I never said that. I did commit crimes.
Okay, you agreed to this deal, and you started work for them as an informant.
A cooperator, yeah, a cooperator. So basically what happened is this. They said, all right, keep doing what you're doing, right? Be Sabu. We're just gonna watch you. Just do what it is you do, just watch, we're gonna watch. So my computer was logged. Whenever someone would hit me up or, you know, some messages would fly by saying, hey, we just hacked into the Department of Justice, we just hacked into the United States
They'd
Senate.
follow up on it.
Then, I mean, they instantly seeing it, you know what I'm saying? Like they were able to jump on it immediately.
Jeremy Hammond, who is another top hacker at Anonymous, says...
Not another top hacker, just a random person that got caught.
Who was a hacker?
Who was a hacker, yeah.
He's serving 10 years in prison, right?
Yep.
Did you help put him away?
No.
You had nothing to do with it?
Well, they have conversations between me and him, but there was never a point where I asked him, hey, Jeremy, can I have your number, your name? I don't know where you're at. Can I go visit you? Can I hang out with you? I need an IP. I need something out of you. Can you give me information? None of that ever happened.
He says you entrapped him by helping him hack into government-run websites.
Well, you know, we come into a situation where, in my case, I admitted to my crimes. I admitted to 12 charges. I dealt with the situation. I dealt with the drama. I think it's time that some people man up and accept that they committed crimes, and they probably have to do their time. I mean, it's not a popular opinion because everyone wants to consider him a martyr. But if you committed crimes and you get caught, I think it's time that you admit your crimes and do your time.
Did you entrap him?
How can I entrap him?
That's what he says.
Well, you know, that's a good argument for an attempt at an appeal, but I didn't entrap him.
One by one, doors were kicked in, computers seized, arrests made around the world. News headlines declared, Anonymous was finished, its leaders had fallen, its members identified, its reign was over. But those headlines misunderstood one critical fact. Anonymous never had leaders. You can't dismantle what was never organized. You can't decapitate something with no head. The FBI had arrested people. Servers had been seized. Operations had slowed. The world believed Anonymous had finally been defeated. But ideas can't be handcuffed. And soon, the mask would return.
Oh my goodness, Jason, that is juicy right there,
Dude,
man.
Sabu, my boy, that dude is awesome, man. I
He-
loved having him on our show last year. That dude
last
is something
season,
else.
for those that missed it, we had Sabu on our show. It was called the episode 6, Lil Sec Mastermind, season 4, episode 6. Go look it up. Great long interview with him. And you know, the thing I love most about Hector is that, dude, he's no bullshit. He's 100%, you know,
Yeah.
I own what I did. I'm owning it.
You want to do the crime? You got to own up, do the crime.
Yeah, this is exactly what went down. I did my time, and straight up, man, he's not hiding anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that dude. But dude, Operation Payback. Operate. And what was the thing they said there at the end? You can't kill, or you can't kill what doesn't have a head, or
Yeah.
you can't decapitate what doesn't have a head.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
so
yeah.
cool. I mean, because it's so true, man. Anonymous was not full of a bunch of leaders. It wasn't full of a bunch of people giving charging orders or setting the tone on what the focus was going to be. Anonymous decided as a group, and everything started out as a here's a item that we can go pursue. If you're interested in it, great. If you're not, okay, cool. It's probably
Yeah.
going to die on its own.
Yeah.
But usually when they had force and they had numbers behind something, dude, they were going to accomplish whatever it was they set to accomplish.
For sure, man. Yeah, for sure. That is insane. Some of the things they called out, like the fact that, what was it, BH Gary?
Yeah, HB
Yeah,
Gary,
like,
yeah.
dude, you might as well just go away. No one wants to know about you ever again. You had a cybersecurity company. You started talking with your mouth, and then they came in and just shut you down.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because every time you ever hear about somebody that's a cybersecurity company that issues some sort of a challenge or a threat, that never ends well. Why do that? That's
kidding.
not the
Because you
smartest
think you're
move to
bigger than
make.
you really are, man. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, not against the biggest hacktivist organization in the world, though. You just don't do that. That's just
You know?
stupid.
Yeah. Well, now you know.
Talk about putting a target on your back, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay, so back to Operation Payback. Before Anonymous, the internet, in my opinion, was viewed as a communication channel. That's really what it was, right? And then after Anonymous, after these first few major breaches that they had, governments started to perk up and realize this can be viewed as a electronic digital battlefield, and these guys are good at it. And that mindset, in my opinion, is what accelerated, nations to invest in cyber capabilities.
Oh.
And you hear that in that guy's interview where he's talking about, man, if we can just befriend them and get them on our side, maybe they can help us, First off, probably not. but even if you could, I mean, that is the right mindset, because then you've got an army behind you, essentially. And it's not just an army of US citizens or an army of people that are from America. It's a global army. And once those people get behind something, dude, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
That was kind of an interesting take.
I think the challenge is always this. It's all about common ideals and goals. Eventually it's going to be that values, ideals, goals, right? So anytime you have a group of anything, people joining together as a group in any kind of fashion, they come together for something in common. Values, goals, thoughts, beliefs, whatever it is. It has to be something common. Any crack in that commonality, the whole thing falls apart. So the notion of believing that any nation state or any outside organization outside of the collective could utilize the collective to support them in whatever desires and needs that they wanted to achieve just isn't even fathomable, because the collective has their own thoughts, beliefs, goals, objectives that will likely not always fit with all of these different other nation states and organizations out there and what they want to achieve. Primarily because the root of everything at the end of the day, to the root of all power, the root of all big, large everythings is money and power and greed. That is the root. And that will destroy every good thing out there. As long as that is
mostly power.
Yeah, mostly power. So you can't have something like the collective where everyone is a willing participant, equal willing participant, that now power creeps in and, it's going to direct or steer the ship somewhere. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I think that's why this movement is so strong, because that's essentially eliminated in Anonymous. So because of the collective, that's what makes it unique. That's what makes it powerful. And that's what makes it, you're taking ego out of the equation, right? So I think that's huge. Thinking about these DDoS attacks and things that they were doing to some of the larger financial institutions early on in Operation Payback. If you take 1,000 people and you go and you block off a building, it's called a protest, right? How is that fundamentally different when you take those same 1,000 people or 1,000 computers and you block a website? It's kind of the same, right?
Dude, yes. Digitally, right?
Yeah, it's
right?
a digital protest, right?
There's a physical blockage of whatever, right? Traffic, communication, whatever it is, into building an entity or whatever it is. So yes, it's kind of the same thing. The difference is, in a protest, the organizations or governments still have the ability to break it up when they want. They can go in and say, okay, you protested long enough, move on, blah, blah, blah. Or you don't have a permit to protest. It's another one. You don't have a permit to protest. Well, no one's asking for a permit to block your site. They're just taking it down.
Man, I just got to think, in the cybersecurity space and even in the hacker space, a lot of people have Anonymous to thank. Even security practitioners have Anonymous to thank, because they are the ones that made cybersecurity front page news. Before you heard about some of the things they pulled off, there was not a lot to really talk about. But then comes the Guy Fawkes mask. Then comes all of these things hitting the news and the media, and these breaches and the Scientology thing and the Operation Payback and many other things. That's what put them on the map. That's what put a face to hacking. And if you think about it, when you think of a hacker, the image of a hacker, what do you think of typically, right? I mean, hoodie, mask,
hoodie, dark room, bunch of
dungeon,
computers, a lot of lines of code.
And why is that? It's because of these guys, dude.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
100% of, and even the other hacker groups that spun out of Anonymous, like LulzSec, when Sabu started up LulzSec, they came from this family of pranksters, essentially. And so I just feel like, a lot of ways you can kind of, they're almost endearing because of the pranks and the funny things that they do, the funny bits.
Yeah.
But you better damn well take them seriously, because if they put their mind to it and you're in their sights, you're screwed.
Yeah. I mean, look, dude, here's the thing, man. My daughter asked me a question today. She was messing around. I think she was secretly videotaping me to see what I would say so she could record it. And she was like, oh, let's share friends. Oh, look what my dad said. Oh. And so her question was, what would you do if a bully came up to you and said, your mom's ugly and you're stupid? What would you do? I said, that depends on what mood I'm in. Depends on the situation. Like, what's my environment? Like,
how many cops are there around?
Yeah. Am I in a foreign country, or am I in the US? Am I in, uptown, or I'm in, a bad part of the neighborhood? It depends on a lot of different things. And she's like, okay, let's say you were in a bad mood and someone did that. What would you say? What would your response be? I said, well, likely I would be whatever, man. And I'd move on, because I would be making a decision of, what do I not know, or what do I know about this person in the situation, and what's behind this? And
what's their end game here?
And is it worth me escalating or walking away? What's my most powerful moment that I can take? And
probably
I think
not escalate.
Well, yeah. So I think that's true in these situations too, right? Where you are confronted in a situation like this cybersecurity CEO smacking off about something. You're confronted in a situation where you have a choice to make. You can move aside, secretly take these guys down without having to publicly announce that you're going to take them down because you're a big guy, right? Just secretly do your thing. You're a cybersecurity company. That's what you should be doing, right? Or you can do what you did, start talking smack, and you should expect to get smacked back.
Let that ego start talking for you, big boy, and look what happens.
Right.
Yeah, dude, that's totally true. I mean, a lot of people don't know how to keep their friggin' mouth shut. It's just simple as that. And, got too big for their britches. But hey, we still have another chapter to get into here. Let's jump into that. Before we do, want to really quickly thank all of our sponsors. We want to thank Fulcrum Technologies, Alacronet, Cipernova.ai, and PureBomb Apparel. All 4 of these premier sponsors are the reason we're able to bring these awesome stories, and we're able to essentially reformat the entire podcast this season into this new storytelling type of podcast that we feel is way, way, way cooler. So thank you for that. Thank you for all of the support, the continued support, many of you multiple years. Thank you. Thank you. We can't thank you enough. And we look forward to seeing you and hanging out with you in DEF CON next week. Can't wait.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
buddy.
Awesome. By the way, it's uncanceled this year.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's jump into chapter 3, Jace.
All right.
Chapter 3, the idea that couldn't be arrested. When the arrest began, many people thought the story was over. News outlets declared Anonymous dead. Law enforcement celebrated. Governments breathed a sigh of relief. But they had misunderstood what Anonymous really was. It wasn't an organization. It wasn't a club. It wasn't even a hacking group. Anonymous was an idea, and ideas don't disappear. Over the next several years, the mask kept returning, sometimes expected, sometimes not. In 2014, after the police shooting of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, Anonymous emerged once again, posting videos, sharing information, launching cyber campaigns, demanding accountability. Whether people agreed with their methods or not, their message reached millions. Then, a very different enemy appeared, ISIS. The terrorist organization had become frighteningly effective online, recruiting followers, spreading propaganda, using social media as a weapon. Anonymous responded the only way it knew how: Operation ISIS.
The hacker group Anonymous says it's eliminated more than 6,000 Twitter accounts linked to ISIS. Anonymous tweeted out the news Thursday. Now, you may remember this network of hackers, hacktivists, declared cyber war against the terror group following the attacks in Paris.
Thousands of accounts were identified. Many were reported. Some were disrupted. Others disappeared entirely. For one of the few times in its history, Anonymous found itself receiving praise from people who had once condemned it. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Yesterday's cybercriminals had suddenly become today's unlikely allies. But Anonymous never stayed in one lane for long. Sometimes it targeted governments, sometimes corporations, sometimes extremist groups, sometimes ransomware gangs, sometimes it even turned against people claiming to be anonymous. There was never a committee deciding what came next. No board meetings, no strategic plans, just individuals choosing whether to act under one shared identity. That flexibility made Anonymous nearly impossible to predict, because every operation was different, every participant different, every motivation different, which led to the question that still puzzles investigators today: who is Anonymous? The answer depends on when you ask. Some members were skilled penetration testers. Others barely knew how to write code. Some believed they were fighting injustice. Others were motivated by chaos. Some wanted transparency. Others simply wanted attention. Anonymous has always been a contradiction, a movement built on anonymity seeking publicity, a decentralized collective that somehow acted in unison, a symbol more than an organization. Perhaps that's why governments struggle to stop it. You can arrest individuals, you can seize servers, you can shut down websites, but how do you stop an idea that anyone can adopt? The moment one person disappears, another puts on the mask. The moment one operation ends, another begins somewhere else. No permission required, no invitation needed, only a keyboard, an internet connection, and a belief that your voice should be heard. Today, Anonymous still surfaces from time to time. During wars, political unrest, major cyber incidents, or moments when someone believes power has gone unchecked. Sometimes the operations are genuine, sometimes they're imposters using the name, and that's part of the mystery. No one owns Anonymous. No one controls Anonymous, which means no one can truly define it. Maybe Anonymous was never meant to be understood. Maybe that was the point all along. Because in the end, Anonymous wasn't built on code, or malware, or cyber attacks. It was built on one simple belief: that ordinary people working together could challenge extraordinary power. Whether history remembers them as heroes, villains, hacktivists, or cybercriminals depends entirely on which side of the screen you were sitting.
Wow, dude. So this story's still fascinating. It's amazing. When you think about it, the power of the collective is really what's at the source of everything, every piece of achievement that was done. I can remember the stories around taking down ISIS accounts and making an impact. And it really is, you did feel like you had a negative group hacker who is now also doing something very positive for other aspects of the world. You know, in their minds, they were probably always doing something positive for aspects of the world. But it is something about picking and choosing what you align with and what they're doing being right or wrong. And at the end of the day, it does still come down to this. They made a statement in that clip that said, they will always rise up again the next time power tries to, show itself and use itself in ways. And I think the message there is that it's all about using power is one thing. Everyone does it. They're all going to do it. But there is a point in which using power to a certain extent needs to be corrected.
Yeah.
Right. Some type of adjustment needs to happen in those cases. And I think that's where they see themselves fitting. They see themselves fitting into the imbalance of too much power happening in some situation. And what they can do to impact that would be to, do some electronic warfare to impact
level the playing field, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So what are your thoughts, Kevin?
I mean, it's like you said, it's really cool. I mean, when you think about what the power that they had when they all came together and they really decided this is going to be an initiative of ours. This is going to be something that's meaningful to us. And when they embraced it and adopted it, good luck stopping them. You weren't going to. I mean, let's be real. There's enough talent across the entire group that they could do just about anything they wanted to do. And the last thing any large corporation or even a government organization wanted was to have them on their bad side, because they hacked into government agencies and websites as well. But I guess one of the things that I keep thinking is like, if anyone can claim to be anonymous, how do we really know which operations were actually anonymous? Because anybody can claim to be anonymous.
Well,
and so
I don't know if it's that as much as, I don't think the claim matters as much as the action behind the claim.
The cause, right?
The cause. So you can claim to be anonymous, but doing some really sketchy stuff. That doesn't make you anonymous, right? It has to be representation of what the collective actually represents to be anonymous.
So I'll ask you a simple question. 50 years from now, when we're looking back in the history books on, generations of hackers and technology and things that happened both in our lifetimes and long after we're gone, how do you think this group will be remembered?
I think they're going to see this group as, I think they will be identified with some type of elevated status of, and I'm struggling to find the right word. I don't want to use the word rebels. I don't want to use the word vigilantes, because they're going to be viewed as something more positive than those titles towards pushing change.
I think so too, because in most cases where they were pushing for change, there was a decent cause behind why. And I think if you go back and you look, it's not about just hacking into the large banks or doing anything crazy and siphoning money. There was always a purpose behind the cause. At least it seemed that way. And I think they'll be mostly remembered for that. And to your point, yeah, a lot of people will say, they were just pranksters or they were just hackers. They were really the first real global internet movement that we've ever seen in our lifetimes since the internet became the internet that we know,
Yep, for sure.
If they started today in 2026 versus when I think they first came onto the scene in around 2008. Do you think it would be equally influential as to what it was from 2008 until now? How do you think that would be different?
Well, the answer would be no. And their answer would be no because it took a combination of technology advancing enough to make it an impact for people to feel the hurt. And although there were things that were happening prior to 2008, the masses weren't integrated within digitally prior to that the way they were 2008 and beyond. And so that's where the difference was. It allowed them to capture power to make a change,
Yeah.
We had a similar conversation like this last night. My wife and I were talking about flock cameras. Flock cameras are all the speed cameras.
Flock? You're saying flock, like a flock of sheep?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like a flock of birds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a company called Flock, and they make the
Okay.
cameras that do all the speed checks, the license plate, AI license plate recognition stuff,
Mm-hmm.
all that kind of stuff. And there's a big controversy right now around data centers. Everyone's in an uproar about data centers and AI and using data centers. And they're tying, one of the arguments is because of all the Flock cameras that are being put out. And because more data centers are going in place, these data centers are where the data from all this video footage is taken and stored, and then likewise the systems are running against that video footage to do the recognition and identify license plates tied to your VIN and determine who it was and send you tickets and all this stuff. And so they're saying we're just being surveilled more than ever. So we need to quit building data centers so they don't have places to do this stuff. And so we had this conversation with my wife, and I said, so here's the problem with that conversation. They do not recognize how integrated we are. Our entire worlds are integrated in data centers. Our worlds cannot operate without data centers right now. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-go back point. We cannot go back and operate without data centers. Those things are not going to be happening.
It's like trying to go back without the internet, right?
Yeah, I would say it's like saying, hey, we don't like cars. Everyone stop using cars. They're polluting the world and we're not going to use them. That's not happening. We're not going back and stopping using cars. So quit complaining about that. Start figuring out what else we can do going forward that can improve the situation, and quit complaining about the things that you are not going to be able to control. Shutting down data centers will mean your bank accounts aren't working anymore. You lose access to your funds. Your communications are down. All these things that you live on every day that you don't even realize, you live on, gone. So you have to think about the problem differently. And I think that's the same situation, right? We're so integrated now that the dynamics have changed. Back then, same story. 2008 before, we wasn't as integrated. 2008 hit, and now we're in this new no-go back point, right? And we keep seeing those types of things happen.
Yeah. Well, regardless of how they're going to be viewed 50 years from now, you can't not be impressed with what they've pulled off. And so much respect to the Anons out there. I think it's a cool story. I've been looking forward to getting into this story for a long time. Glad we got to do it, Jason. Glad we're going to be surrounded by a bunch of these folks next week, actually, out in Las Vegas. Can't wait. We actually know a few of you. Can't wait to see you guys. And I guess we'll let you know the next episode is going to be all about the Sony hack. So that's going to be episode 9, be coming out later this month, later in August. And we'll be getting really close towards the last quarter of our year, Jason. So we're going to really go out with a bang. We got some good ones coming up. Looking forward to those. But for now, I say we tie a bow on this one.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. I think this is a good one. And we'll catch you guys next week. Hacker Summer Camp. Look out for us. We'll be there.
100. Take it out, Blake.
In summary, Anonymous changed the internet forever. Not because they were the most sophisticated hackers, and not because they always succeeded. They changed it because they proved something no one had fully realized before. In the digital age, an idea can become more powerful than an organization. A symbol can become stronger than a name, and a movement with no leader can capture the attention of the entire world. The Guy Fawkes mask has become one of the most recognizable symbols on Earth, not because of the man behind it, but because of the millions who've worn it, each with a different reason, each telling a different story, yet all united by three unforgettable words: we are anonymous. You've been listening to the Cyber Distortion Podcast with Kevin and Jason. This was Season 5, Episode 8, We Are Anonymous, The Collective. And next time, a Hollywood movie nearly sparked an international crisis. One email, one devastating breach, nearly 100 terabytes of stolen data, private emails, executive salaries, unreleased films, embarrassing secrets, all dumped onto the internet for the world to see. Then came the threats. The FBI pointed to North Korea. Pyongyang denied everything. And suddenly, cyber attacks were no longer just about stealing money. They had become instruments of geopolitics. The target, Sony Pictures Entertainment. The attack would become one of the most infamous cyber incidents in history. Join us next time for the Sony hack, when Hollywood went to cyber war. Until then, stay safe out there. Remember to subscribe to help us grow, and tell a friend or two about us. We appreciate your support. God bless.
Alacrinetis, a value-added reseller that provides cybersecurity-specific security solutions, services, and staffing. We are an agnostic security partner, which allows us to present multiple options for each security need. Our catalog of services encompasses a range of security solutions, penetration tests, and staffing options. With our approach, we can bring the best options and price points forward to increase your security posture and prevent vulnerabilities. Alacrinetis constantly adding new partners to meet the challenges of an ever-changing security landscape. As security experts, we know how to find security talent. Our entire organization is focused on cybersecurity, from leadership to sales team to technical staff and hiring staff. For more information on our vast list of solutions or services, please give us a call or visit our website at www.alacrinet.com. We look forward to growing with your business.